What's up? This is Renergy going live. Happy New Year. I'm happy to be alive. I survived my first motorcycle off road incident yesterday. Hit some ice out here, but I made it to my boy's house. I was like, spark that up. I ran out of my frozen mangoes, about to make a shake, but you know what? I said, let me get on. Shout out to Bro Sanchez. I appreciate the shout out. So you were the person following my last live stream, man. That's dope. So I'm gonna touch on that Ezekiel's wheel, which is why I showed that doors cover. And when you get into Kronos eating the baby, it kind of shows that there in the wheel. So when you get into these frequencies, you can see that the horse is on the shore. You see the symbology with the cat and the sphinx. 7 stages of life, the male and the female, the ring of fire. Johnny Cash had the song about the ring of fire. And then when you look at the doors, you got the 2 doors and the infinity sign. And you see how they swing too in 3D kind of. Okay, also in Ezekiel, you see 3 E's, which also can be looked at like 3 threes. When we're writing like this, you can see the word level that I showed before. Like levels, we see sequels. And so we quill an arrow. To quill an arrow, we're dealing with direction, we're dealing with frequencies. And shout out to Kyung Dae Sung and Louisa. I want to answer your questions too. So if you're not watching this now, I will upload this. And as this is live, I can't pause it. But this is a new moon. So they say new moons are more powerful than full moons. So that gets into ripple effect. And it also gets into the N and the M. And essentially, Aladdin. So we're dealing with Aladdin's lamp. So we're dealing with that one rib, and we're dealing with amps. So this is dealing with frequency, and this shit gets really deep because we're dealing with that. So there's 3 ways of writing B. You know, the first letter of the Hebrew the Jews used was B, not A. It's interesting they use B first and Baphomet. But anyway, I'm going to get to the questions to answer your questions. But I want to touch on this because we're dealing with Aladdin. With that N and the M, we're dealing with the jinn, and we're dealing with engine. Engine. And now, lay me down to sleep. Now this gets really deep because when we get to the pH with the foe, yeah, we have off, and I'm gonna get into the ABCs and all that. I want to get into the BC and the AD. I'm going to answer your question in just a second, and I feel that this ties into it because when we go in the reconcile when you get into the keyboard, right? We're dealing with the left and the right. This shit gets really deep. So I'm glad I'm putting this down. So also when you deal with the with the J and the G, you're dealing with the index fingers. So I looked this up today because I had the feeling, man, what plant does that go with? Because I'm thinking ET and ET's finger and why it points towards things and why it lights up, whatever. So uh, Jupiter. So you're dealing with edge. We're told it's the edge. This gets serious. So we're going to be dealing with Sirius and we're going to be dealing with Polaris as well. And I'm going to show some symbolism. So while we're on that and the 5, no, 2 sevens together, which also make the cross. Look at the capital cross, capital T, rather, capital T. You can see the 2 sevens. 7 and 7 is 14, which makes the 5. The 5 has the I. Keep in mind there's an I in there too. So we see the 5. You know what I mean? See the 5. And then there's also a J. When you look at that, when you see the lowercase j. Um, but this shit gets really deep because this also gets into when you get into the 6 and the 7. We're also dealing with the curve and the line. And we talk about Adam's rib. M can be written with one line and curves like that. Or I'm going to get into that because it's going to open up too much in my head to think about. Right now, I'll lose track. So, doing with amps, we're dealing with sound. So, I want to talk about the A, B, C, D. They told to tell us we're out of Africa. That's also Abraca. We're dealing at 1, 2, 3, which is the M. So when we get to time, damn, I have to get to my notes. But this also has to do. I'm gonna get into deja vu because Bro Sanchez, you checked my show before. I was yawning. I looked up awning. Awning is to block sunlight and like yawning. It's like fuck. I was thinking, man, I survived going off road on my motorcycle. I woke up. I'm like, I get to throw some stuff down. So, uh, and I'm going through all these old albums and stuff that have these occult things with reflections and similar symbology to stuff I've been seeing. Also, want to get into colors and talking about deja vu and blue has been kind of the afterlife in Asian cultures. Uh, the reason I see Cat Stevens and Cat, we also have Act. But the yo-yo, why I see that symbolic of the red chakra, because it's dealing with passion that permeates all. Just holding that with the yo-yo. See that similar symbology with the 5. It's also blue oyster cult. Okay, so to the deja vu, this shit gets deep. She gets really fucking deep. This also made me think of awning. I was thinking yawning because jaded. Think of jaded view. We say view. We're also dealing with that curve in that line. So one thing, I think anybody's watching this yet. You asked me to break down was get into the abracadabra. Talk about time. So when we get into ABC, the B can also be written lowercase, and you can also see that as a P. A couple ways, but I'm going to break that down to Pac-Man. So that 3 at the middle, the M and the N, the A Adam's rib. We get man. Moses landed on the mountains, Mount Ararat, which is technically 3 A's. We're going to get 3 triangles there in Ararat. This shit is so fucking deep because when you look at ABC downward, you see the word down, and then you also see when you combine that L, you see dowel. So with dowel, we see that triangle, which is also the play button, which is also the fish fin, like I showed before, which we're also dealing with that, the wave and the line. So the wave and the line can also be see like the ripple, the wand and the ripple. Like how one splits into 2 other. Okay, so this is going to get into your beliefs and how your beliefs maintain your frequencies. I got so much deep symbolism. Shit, man. I don't mean to fade. I'm trying to remember the stuff I was going to throw down because I know you're asking me about BC and AD and then the circle. And to me, yes, I'm going to show you a couple different ways I saw that. There's a co-creative kind of symbology there from the way I see it. So one way going through a lot of these old records, fuck, dude, I got some sick fucking artwork that I'll get into. Uh, when you look at ACDC, that's one off. That's one off from BC80, right? We talk about that wand. These cats are magicians. Look at their hats and their symbology, right? So they got one album. We know the K's are the pause signs. Take those off. Doesn't matter for this because I'm relating to this to the ABCs because these cats are magicians. So you got that back in black, right? So when you look at these old records too, the fuzzy face, it's almost like they're showing you the vibratory frequencies. Because musicians, there's different crafts, so maybe certain cats got certain knowledge. Um, I was looking into this book here, which breaks down like 5 different things. It's pretty deep because my birthdays. Because my tarot card is the moon. What stuff I want to know more about? Yeah. So anyway, so when we talk about engine, we talk about lightning. With L and R, we're dealing with left and right. So we're talking about waves here. If we look at like the word loose, Lucas, we got Lucifer, we got loose, but we got left and we got right. If you spell right like RITE. So if you move, we're talking about vibrations here. We move the L to the R. We got light. TRU, like I don't know. TRU. I don't know. I see a frequency there, but I see with the loose and the tight. When you see the Christ has to do a crease. So C can also be S. So you see the FIS, or you could write the C that make it sound like a S. Fist or sif to sift or sift. We could also deal with time. So when we deal with ladders, we're dealing with rungs. So right, we're doing right and wrong. We write a song. If you scramble Mason, they use that could be they use the G too, which is the ghost letter. You could say am song. Sam Sun had in Delilah could be looked like as idea. We got that pause sign in between. So I'm going to get into that binding the frequencies, and that's also, like I said, with Lucifer. I didn't say it, but I meant to say it. If you also have Lue, Lue, you got surf, or you got surfer, or you got surf, or surf, one R. I mean, so that's how I look at it. Maybe that's how I just align things fall in place. So surf, because we're dealing with waves with frequencies, and that's what I think. There's different times where you could think like a wind surf dealing with different elements, but you know, like the roof and the floor dealing with a four, and the flora and the fauna, how the L fits into this. I say elf on the shelf, dealing with also left, and you can see the shelf. You're dealing with the capital L. And the line could be seen as the C that makes the G, the 6 of the 7. Um, we say pause it, I have. It could be like positive. There's different ways of writing that one. So, like I was talking about amp, when you look at the word amp, lamp, the lamp lights up with amp. We also see map, and when people have the key, they can see the key. This shit, they give us certain things like we came from monkeys, so we see people see certain things. And when you're in programming, it's you don't really see other shit. So now whoever owns whatever has the key, and so talking about the BC and AD, this shit gets really fucking deep because when it's with the alphabet, like I was talking about before, when we talk about the pitchfork, some of the fours, also the 13s. So pitch, we're dealing with the sounds like one and two. We're dealing with tones. Like Santa is coming to town. The amps and tones. When the M and N kind of vibrate at the center. So when we look at the word center, we have that negative and positive. We have sear. Could that be like Reese? Reese? Like Reese's? Reese's Pieces? But we know that we also like seer can sound like seer, like someone who sees. And now when we say the word recent, dealing with now, dealing with the time that's kind of in the middle, elemento, dealing with the omni, dealing with now, dealing with what's recent, because current, we're dealing with currency, current events can also be sound like resent. So we're dealing with time, like something that was sent again. And no dealing with sense like smell. Holy shit, this made me think about a lot of shit. This like smell has two L's, like love. When you look at the heart sign, uh, but when you look at that double G sign, like splitting the positive sign, the positivity, when you look at two L's, you also have tools like like tubal cane. So I'm gonna get into the deja vu and how that also breaks down to jade and jaded view, which I think I already touched on. But vu is also view, and I was also thinking about blue because with that red, blue, and blue, it's symbiotic with more your throat chakra communication. So I gotta double check that one. But jade is that blue green color that you were showing in your that Bro Sanchez was showing before. So you see the quills and the arrow, and then arrow we have arrows, which is zero. And Kyung Dae Sung was asking me about zero. In the OZ, damn, I'm filming with my phone. I don't think I could pull that up. But check this. It makes sense that the BC would be inside of the AD, because when I write like the 9 and the 6 is like that separation. You have that separation and that bonding. 9 and 6 equals 15, which equals 6. Which we could see that in the Sphinx, which also has spin. So 9 and 6, you could write this, or with Adam's rib, which you could see like the separation kind of. I don't know, or the straight and the. So 69, however, if I'm saying that right, because it kind of means the same way both ways, but either way, that's together. That's apart. So that sequence of left, right, so that's dealing with sequence. And what is equal? We see sequel. We see these wheels spinning. So in AD and B, so in BC, Jasmine, your vision was AD spinning around the BC. BC, we could see bitch. I mean, I don't mean that. I really see that. Like the cross is in the center, and then we see the C, and the H is quiet. And then in the AD, we could see dad, or Adam or whatever. So that to me would be getting into the dog star, which is Sirius, which was replaced, which is interesting because you have is and are you, are you. I don't know, that's fucking deep. Polaris is the North Star. So supposedly there was a cosmic shift, and this gets deep because this gets into the Milky Way. And if you write it like that, like the alphabet, like that reflection, that made me think of the reflection here. Supposedly Sirius was before Polaris, and you see that reflection in the I and the I and the S and the S. I'm thinking a little bit deeper about that, but we know not R is the 9 and U is 21, which is 3. So think, which is 12, which is 3. So you'd have that is and is. You'd have that Isis separated by the 3. Now you got Polaris. The polar is. Oh shit! I gotta think about this deep. They both have sir. They both have that R in it. Dollar, dollar, dollar. It's in that. Um. Mm. But you would see the feminine would be on the inside, masculine on the outside, and anybody that would be manipulating this kind of energy through the symbolism, those would be tied in. There would be a connection. So I'm shooting from the hip here. We look at Pac-Man. Get back to the ABC because this ties into Abracadabra, how these are manipulated. So Dionysus, Dionysus, Dionysus was Bacchus. And in Bacchus, we see two things related to time. We see the word back, and we see such. I believe there's 2 C's. CHUS. Such. We see back. Such is referring to something that was before you said it. So when you say such this or such whatever, you're referring to something from the past. So when you say Bacchus, you see the word such. And you also see the back, the ABC. Serapis, like in Sirius. You see Serapis. You also see Rapist. And it's like not hard to decode this shit when you start to ride these, like be able to surf these frequencies. It's not hard to bond shit in place that fits in place. You know? It's just like ninja shit. Just shit fucking fits in place. And when we think about meta with that one or that one, yeah, that you get metal. And think about time and lament. So with this color shit, check out this album. Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues. Blues has loose. We get a lot of references to time. So we say deja vu. If we see jade view, we're talking about green and blue, like a green blue. That's jade. Jade's like a greenish blue. And you see the heads going in different directions. We're dealing with the different views. This shit's fucking deep. So I don't want to just hover on the same artwork, but there's a lot of shit. So I got Iron Butterfly. That's another reference. I'll go through this shit when I have more time. So back with that Abracadabra. Let me check my notes here. I'm gonna fly into some deep shit. So when we look at the alphabet, right? You see if the N is hidden, you almost see amen in there. And the T and the L could be like a minus and positive symbol if you write the hell that way. Alright, this shit's gonna get fucking deep. We see the 5 and other things, but the 5 is has to do with the edge. We see that J there. We also see the I in 5. In 7 is a 5-letter word. And we see the Roman numeral 5 splitting what's seen, splits what's seen. And we look at the seen and unseen. Seen equals I gotta do the math. I'm not doing it right now. And when you see one little rib there with the I, you see Nieves, which is has to do with Virgin Mary. We get that V at the M. And then so Our Lady of Snow. And we look at frequency. We see free, like one of our biggest fears is losing our freedom, being free. So free, then we see the queen, like in a deck of cards. This shit gets fucking deep. We see the C, what we see Eve. Eve and NV. So a lot of positive interactions, but with this queen, this gets into the alpha and omega, alpha, alpha and omega. That's 6 syllables. So like a game of chess, the queen is the piece that makes all the moves. Like you say you're keen. You can see something, you're keen. So they say the meek will inherit the earth. Meek can be looked at as make. So we're getting to this shit. I hope I'm not missing anything here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Damn. Let me touch on this shit. This shit's so fucking deep. With the ABCs getting into these cards. Like I said, with the K is also the 11, which is the pause sign. Now, if you take that T, okay, I got to get into another thing with that one. So, the K is the pause sign. So, rider back, we're dealing with time. We're playing cards. So, I brought down that alpha and omega that play game. And see the stars around the. So now we see the spade. See, it's a red spade. Moving up. So, this shit gets deep. Check it. So bicycle, we're dealing with that 3 syllable. And the 2 wheels. Shit, I skipped over something I was going to go over. So deal with the hijack and an OP. But it's okay because whatever I miss now, I'm going to put down on my next. So this has to do with the left and the right. Like the 2 eyes are on the left next to that pause symbol, which is the K. You see that 3 with the 111. And we see the word down. We could see also like cursive. We see owl the other way. If we're reading it the other way. If we're reading it, flip that P or looking at a different angle, we see dowel. Like the play symbol. So we got the play symbol here on the right, and we got the pause symbol here on the left. UV, we're dealing with light you can't see. We're dealing with waves. So I got more notes on that W. But the Milky Way is deep too, because when we get into the old stories of the Milky Way and the frequencies that we're in, how it goes on and on with the onion. So this gets into the roof and the floor, because there's one more on floor with the four. So just like the force and the force, I believe equals force. I'm not gonna look it up now. Uh, Roof and floor. Your feet, your feet only stand on the floor, not on the roof. So one of the two, just like frequencies. And then just like the spinning six going this way makes the lowercase g. Which I believe is a comma. Let me think of coma, to come out of sleep. But that's just flowing with the. So when we look at, I hope I'm not erasing too much, but this has to do with Jack and Jill went up the hill, hi Jack. And so when you go to the left of the middle, this is a new moon, my energy's up. Check this. This shit is fucking crazy. This shit is so fucking deep. Like when I get my notes into this and start pausing this shit, it's gonna be fucking wicked. So you see the jackal? So when you see that Nike sign, so when you take a nap, it's to recharge, like to take a zap. So when you look at the symbols of Anubis, which has N, and a new is like something new, we're dealing with time. But here, look, check it. He's looking to the left. So he's on the right of the N. He's like fucking the N. He's straight up fucking that N to sleep. And am I crazy for seeing this shit? The triple crown is that W at the center of the alphabet. And he's looking to the west because he takes people to death. And that's W's, the west, the triple crown. You're also dealing with Set. And in Set, you can see Set and CET, which is electricity. It's etc. X, etc. Which is 4 syllables. It's 4 syllables, but it breaks down to 3 with ETC. That's what's deep about that. So it's like breaking that cube or something like that. We always see that downward triangle. There's six points there. That's what I was getting at, the 6-pointed star. Just some shit I was seeing. And I also see Michael, the archangel Michael, because the ark Noah's ark landed on Mount Ararat with the 3 A's, Ararat, which is this abracadabra shit. So I gotta look into Michael more. The story of Michael. It's crazy because that was my boy Mike. And Jeff G passed away. R.I.P. So when we get into this with Ezekiel's wheel and the sequel, I also want to talk about the Grim Reaper. So that's what I was talking about, the deja vu and the jaded view. So I talk about the jaded view, talk about the jaded view with the green view. So with Grim Reaper, we also can see green and reappear because the N is hidden, and we're dealing with that charging back and forth frequencies. If you got an open mind, you can see it. But we also have merge, just like that, just like what we're doing there. We're merging. I also have rim, rim, and G is on the rim. G is on the edge. G is living on the edge. So our index fingers in like independent X, I don't know. Uh, two X's. But anyway, our independent. Fuck, I forget what I'm saying. So G and J are our two index fingers, left and right, because they're not on the same side. But they're both our doing with Jupiter. So there's definitely some abracadabra shit going in there that's dealing with frequencies. So like when we deal with like apes, like we're told monkeys. But the key to see this is kind of like deprogramming. The programs keep you from seeing, and it's like hypnotized, and just like those swirls. So why would one swirl be what protecting the other swirl? And we're dealing with light and shadow. It's hypnotizing. I almost got hypnotized for a second. Look at that. So when you look at lightning, it's or N lightning, it's N light N to N light N. And we're dealing with sleep, N light N. You see the lightning, it's light engine, and we're dealing with the apex. So they gave us the ape, and we have to pay, and just like the LMNOP, we're told donkeys follow the carrot. So we got the Christ between the two crosses with the past and the future. And I'm gonna keep shining on this shit. It's just like the first shall be last. If you write it like that, and then you write last, the A that splits A is one, right? So you got that rib, and you got psst for attention, which is now, and all that presents is the past, and the future is imagination, like image ination. So we're dealing with vibration, and we're bringing value to our vortex. So it's like the focus that we, through our beliefs, we maintain our vibrational fields. So it's like me bouncing back from my motorcycle thing. I was just like, I'm so thankful, but I'm not lamenting. I'm um, just adjusting and adjust. We're doing edge. We're doing edge, and just, j, almost like oust. So fencing, they say on guard. So on Garden of Eden, just like fencing, they say on guard. These different forces. So we got gnomes, like these G's, and the NO with like that now. So we got gnomes that are at this garden gnomes, and in that we also see genomes. So, ooh, like I was breaking it down with center and enter the dragon. This shit is so deep. So whoever's manipulating energy or whatever, I'm not gonna go belly up and be like, whatever it is, it's surfing, and I'm recognizing, realizing, I'm going for it, decoding this bullshit. I'm not accepting tolerating shit I see through the fucking bullshit, the fucking net that these fish fall in, and how fish move like schools of fish. So it's patterns, and in patterns we also have past earn or earn past or earn your pass or pat, you know, but things are used in this competitive system. So to pass, you got to go through another person, like these schools of fish. But we also have like passing the torch. So we have this truth mixed in with lie. Anyway, it has to do with like calibration and damn. So I broke that down. I want to get into that Pac-Man. I think I got into the Pac-Man a little bit. So when you look at that Pac-Man dealing with that left and the right and that triangle and the circle, so you also see the A, B, C. So maybe they could like it's symbolic. We came out of Abraca theory. Anyway, so when you look at it like this, Moses, you see Noah's Ark. We see the M split. They stopped cursive. We can't write in cursive anymore. But you can see how that's now taking a bite out of now. Monday was the first day of the week. Or could be here, LMNO. Maybe the O was moved over here. Some kind of abracadabra. But you see the arc. So anyway, dealing with that ape and monkey shit, they're obviously hiding our apex. I saw this something like things relating to the flower of life and as an amps, maybe the map. So it's like generating energy, force fields. So Ezekiel quilling the arrow. Thanks whoever liked my presentation, man. I hope I'm showing this shit all right. So we look at the words 1, 2. We got want to, 0 equals 1. We know a 2 is kind of like on the edge. And that makes me think of, oh shit, I got to get into these playing cards too. I'm going to get back into that. The 2-minute rule that Navy SEALs have, it's always the 2-minute rule. So if you can't do something, kind of like me now, I was tired. Like I said, I was yawning. And I was looking up shit. It's like setting sparks. All right, new moon. Fucking landed in mud the other day on a motorcycle. I'm still here. So when you get into these playing cards, the 2-minute rule is like if you can't, it's basically getting your momentum going. And momentum, 3 syllables there too with that movement. So when we get into the spade, this shit's so fucking deep. This is where I need to go to my notes. I'm not doing stupid artwork like that. Let's go. Okay. The spade. You also have the heart upside down. It's another way I'm showing these two G's in the symbology. But we're dealing with the wedge. And if you look up Oxford Dictionary, like who came up with our language, it's pronounced WEG, we're dealing with that triangle. So like that elemental P looking down, down, you see the dowel, and like down, you wear down when you wear a duck, like duck down, like you're looking down, you're ducking, and you see down when you duck. And dowel is that play sign. So if you look in from right, if you read the language the opposite way, you see Jew and wedge, which could be doing with jewels or left or right kind of thing, because you know we're left. Driven between to secure or separate, force into a narrow space. So this had me think about the inner space and the outer space with the 9 and the 6 as well. Because in the 9 we see that wedge or the rib. So lost in the sauce with the notes, but we get into these with the spade. We know that spade is to cut off two balls. Someone gets spaded. That means they get like this fuckers did back in like Rome and shit. That's fucking crazy. So I see those two balls in like the 9 and the 6 or the 6 and the 9. It could also be the I and the J because IHS was Jesus before it became Jesus. Previously, Serapis, Beres, and Bacchus. Yo, when you look at this shit backwards and he rose from the cross, it's so fucking crazy. It's fucking shit. And when you look at the abracadabra, it's so fucking crazy. It's like we're fed shit. Because you got D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F. It's like fed. When we look that way, it's like we're fed fucking shit. Anyway, I don't eat that. So, when we look at the word center, it equals 6. So it goes into the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is 6 letters. And if you add the R vibration, holy fuck. So Sphinx, like with the 6 and the 7, with the tie and the untie. Unless I'm doing this wrong, I think I'm right. That P, just add that one rib, shrinks. Could be a fucking reach, but I see it, man. It's fucking crazy. So we're dealing with vibration and frequency, so that's real shit, whatever it is. So spade, paid, apes. See apes in there. We're dealing with pay. Monetize. That's mon and ET and eyes. ET had one finger up. And switch, in the word switch, we have six letters in the word six. And it equals 1. So dealing with that wand for this. So I was talking about the cube and how the W with that cube and how we get into bits, like they say tidbit, like just a tidbit, like a D is the same as the B flipped over. So we're dealing with the same thing. We're dealing with that 3 with the bit 2924 T or 4 or whatever, 3 letters. I'll have to think about that one. But we're dealing with qubits. Qubits are units of info used in quantum computing. So cubes, we're dealing with the cubes, cubing it. It's interesting when they say that. They say to n cube, like to incubate, like to incubate. Does that have something to do with the consciousness? But anyway, in this, I also see the seesaw, and it's something to do with Jesus rising in the cross. Let me look at these cards. But in rider back, we got red. Red, red could also be doing a rib. It's crazy. Look at the back. So let's have you think with the matrix and the water, with the water, and seeing that nine because you see the martyr. So with the water, I'll try to do another stream where I can like do screenshots, so I have to hold stuff up. Pull other stuff. Let me get into these notes. But anyway, so we see water, and we see that nine. And water, we're dealing with reflection. Memory and positivity. So it could be like negativity and positivity, RAM. So I don't want to get stuck on that. So we get to targets, bullseyes, and lullabies. So lullabies are when you're going to sleep, they sing a lullabies. We wave goodbye, dealing with waves, frequencies of waves. And we're also dealing with weaves, alpha, omega. We're also dealing with views. Ah, shit's fucking deep. I don't know where I left off. I'm sorry. Like I had my phone was connecting to Wi-Fi and I get a crappy signal, so I had to put it back to my data. I just saw some messages. I probably didn't know how to read them before, but whoever's tuning in, I appreciate it. I don't know where I left off, but when I was talking about the spade breaking the eight with the cards, so so spade equals nine. It's another reason I was showing that how spade clips the balls. Spade breaks the eight, so spade equals nine. Fuck, I don't know where I left off before. It's all good because I'll do it again. But I was talking about get into things are deep, and let's talk something about keen, knee deep. So we use the word knee deep. So we say knee deep. So talking about the Garden of Eden. Eden is also need, and it's also need, like to need bread, like to need doughs of bread, which could be looked at like this too. So when we say knee deep, 33 E and 9 as the P, which is also the 7. Could be looked at as the G in symbology. How they do that. The P could also be looked at as 9. Holy fuck. Because the knee, with the knee, we're dealing with the Capricorn. Holy shit. So, with the cards. So it's talking about the spade breaking the 8, the 9. So we look at the word bicycle. We also have bi, like 2, and then sickle. So we're dealing with those 2 sevens. So let's think about the Grim Reaper, the merging and the reappear. Damn. Tying time. Okay, so that had to do with the 3 hands. We got hours, minutes, seconds. We got two sevens. We got seconds and minutes are 2 sevens, and the 5 in the center would be hours. We see Horus. Could see shower. Damn, because that's dealing with the center between the 2 sevens, and the 2 sevens equal 5. So hours. I have to look at that one. Not really, because that makes fucking sense. Oh, let me see if I got messages. My bad. Vom red. All right. It made me think of NyQuil with the quill in the arrow with the Ezekiel. NyQuil. So we deal with the frequencies of the A to the M in the middle, and then we got the N, and then we got the Christ. We got the night. So when you look at like April, May, we got June, July, the 2 J's. Loon. I don't know. I gotta get back to that one. Okay. I'm gonna fade out pretty soon, so I'm gonna just go to some notes here. Unless I got anybody tuning in, let me know something you want me to chime in on. Let's see what we got. Live chat. Vom red. So again, to red, we think about reed, we think about deer, and we think about stag. And stag has to do with we're talking about 8 with these frequencies like infinity, infinity. So we got stag and 8, and then in the middle with LMNOP, we got idol worship. because the middle is idle, like riddle. The riddle could be like the rib of L, or I don't know. Think about that one. So we're dealing with this movement, and that Anubis going to the west is probably one of the deepest things that I had to share for the moment. But also, it's talking about stag with deer. We look at buck also being a cube. So I guess I'll leave off on something that I started with. Talk about the figures. Damn, talk about dreams. And we're presented with data, and we know that magicians present with ta-da, ta-da. We're programmed with data. And if you mix like Christ, you could also have search with that positive symbol. Damn. Damn. Okay, a couple different things. Dream, we have REM in dream. Rapid eye movement. Then we also see Adam. I'm going to get into these now because I don't want to flip to too many pages. Because I want to keep this flowing on point. So, Adam, you see like admire. Mirror. So when we look at increase and decrease, this shit's so fucking deep. Talking about the center. I'm going to tie this in and I'm going to end it strong here. So talk about the increase and decrease. Like I was talking about how enlighten, positivity and negativity can both increase and decrease. It's interesting when we look at these two together. We got the word end, but it's like separated. It's actually three letters. And edge starts with ed, as well as devil. Vi, we got that 6 and that L. Shovel. Uh, hmm. You can also kind of see search increase. Oh, shit's so fucking deep. So when B, you got ebb, like to ebb and flow. A flow is also like wolf. like 8 is also 8. I like to get wolf. You see the mouth. So with the Pac-Man, uh, we also see answer. New answer. I have to look at that one. Damn, I gotta look at that. I'm trying to tie that in with new. Um, hmm. Get back to that one. See, that's where I get. These are just sparks that set stuff off. I'll get back to these. So when we look at like Sayer, Savior, Sayer, so in the beginning was the word, which was talking about spoke with Ezekiel's wheel. So we're talking about Sayer and Savior. Then we add that L, we get Slayer. So we get Dragon Slayer. We're also talking about Dragon's Lair. So we're talking about Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair, which is also Dragon, which is also Z. We're talking about Z. Or anyway, Dragon's Lair could also be written Lair or Layer. Dragon's Lair. So we're dealing with these ripples. Lion's Den. Dealing with these L's. We call shit ions, these frequencies, noise. So Lion's Den. And then we also have end. I'll end it at that. This shit is fire. Because we deal with that increase and decrease. Um, and then also with that Zion and noise, we have squeal and Ezekiel in the wheel. You know, wheel squeal. Dealing with frequency and correspondence. And Dragon's Lair, Dragon Slayer, Savior, Santa rode a sleigh. Also doing the layers. Also dealing with levels. And baptized could be looked at dad tide N, dad tide Z, or dad tide N. Because if you look at it, that's tide. They say an empty mind is the devil's playground, dealing with that decrease, that the D, increase and decrease. So we add a little sizzle, little lightning bolts increase here, in like N. We get add a little sizzle to these fears. We get fierce. Bring back the lion, because they try to make us lambs. I don't know, but the lamb lying down with the lion made it this balance. But just the balance is also the power, like those gyroscopic balls that spin in your hand. The frequency, the power is all right in the center. That's where all that power generates. Not moving around all your muscles and stuff, just centering it, and the thing lights up. So, got anybody chiming in anything else? So I talked about the ABC, the Bacchus, frequencies. Oh, I want to get more into these cards too, in the 4 colors that are used. So also how the meek will inherit. So he talked about. Damn, I'm thinking about Herod, but that doesn't really. It's like fishing for connections, but I land my feet stand. I'm always pivot stepping. My feet always go with what I where they land, where there's grip. So Um, so when they say inherit, it's also in her, in her. It. So talk about the BC in the swirl. So damn. So in that, we're talking about also her with the H, hurry, just dealing with time. We're also looking that's a ladder, which also could be pronounced like ladder. Real. Real, like dealing like fishing, that Jesus in the middle, and see the two crosses right there. Damn. The two D's can also be look like a split. But that's just another way of looking at it, or the two. So I'm gonna end. I keep going. So when we say pay, like ape, if you were to write like ape, it's interesting. You also have day, right? Because we're dealing with the AM. That's so fucking crazy. And if you get knighted, people that get knighted don't usually have to pay. Usually you pay people who get knighted. Damn, it's crazy. And then people get knighted on one knee. So if you do the two sevens, it's always symbolic of on one knee. Like two L's is tools. So like pay, you could add the fucking Adams River, get play. That's the ultimate shit. Get paid to play. But it's interesting. Day, you could ask a delay. Delay. I don't know. Got to think about that one. Um, but this, in the beginning was the word, and you have B, and then you have Jin. So in a Jin, Gining, you got engine. So you get those two counter spins. Like that B has that too. If you write it with the like the 13, like that nail through the cross. And if you write the B different directions. Okay, let's see if I can do it like that. Boom, you get a S, just like the money symbol. It's interesting. Just you put that in for the nail, you get snail. Dealing with time. Moses staff, like staff makes things slow. I don't know. Hmm. No, but when we get into that like pay, we also see bay. See the Maritime Admiralty, whatever. So all our capitis diminutia, all our names, whatever, written with capital letters. So we see all that tied into these frequencies. Aladdin. The ADD, nail, and an AL. Page 4 is dealing with the heartbeats. So the index fingers. Oh yeah. So okay. So dealing with the index fingers, that has to do with Jupiter, but our ring finger has to do with Saturn. So why is our ring finger? We got 5 fingers, and the thumb is the T. We got the middle finger. We got the index finger. We got the ring finger. We got the little finger. And we got the thumb. We got left, right, middle, or that's a 3 because the middle finger is the third finger. The ring finger is the right finger on the right hand. Gotta think about that one. But that corresponds to Saturn, which has that R. Index has to do with Jupiter. So we see that free in the end, END. We see that END in index. Damn. Then we see the 9. The I and the X is the 9. So that's why ET's finger, or that's why that finger glows up when they point their index finger up. Because when you see index, you see that end in the middle. It's funny, end is in the middle. But if you go for this directions, I guess towards the middle, towards the third eye, I guess. Damn. So think about that one some more, but there's some stuff. I got short headphones. I can't really get around to my notes right now that I don't have on me. I got a few on me, but I think I burned through those. And I'll tie some more of this stuff in together. But hey, man, bro Sanchez, if you're checking the show, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for checking. And anybody who else is, Kyung Dae Sung, Louisa, whoever, let's see, wants to check this. Zaps and burn. So getting into that genome and the gnome, that's gets into some deep stuff. So this is so in that deja vu. So I had a customer, and I said this is not the first time this has happened, and I don't know what this is. Like I say people's names, and it's like their brother or sister or someone who died, and it hasn't happened in a long time. But it happened the other day. It's like I call people the wrong name, and it's in sales. I try to do that fast if I don't know to get their name. When I was in sales, and I called him Jake. Jake, what's your name, Jake? He's like, no, that's my brother's name. And he just told me his name's completely different. And different things like that have happened. So to me, this is a different way of just reading frequencies. I don't know how, what it is, but it has to do with circuits. And if you look at the word aligned, you have LIN, but you have that G. G is the ghost letter silent, but you also see that bond frequency with that arrow spin. Which makes me think of Aerosmith. Aerosmith. When you think of that song, Living on the Edge. You can't help yourself from falling, and it's an N and M, and they say N fell M, Nephilim, N fell M. All right, I don't want to get into stuff I already said, but I do want to put down some proper shit here. So hopefully this is recording. Because before I think I jumped off. I don't know where it jumped off, but I think I lost some people. So time to withdraw. We see withdraw and deposit. So deposit and pause. It's funny you put money in the bank to deposit. Uh, damn. So with the devil and develop and shit, I'm gonna get into this. But when we look at the word lever, talking about switch, we're talking about the ripple effects, rip and pull, and with the abracadabra, abrasion means to thrash at, and we got the ripple and effect. So A is a one, which is that wand. We see one, which is that ripple. So with the word rule and lure, so we look at the word lever. You also have real. You also have real. And remember the V splits with what you see. What you see. So we're dealing with that ripple. So when we see like LL Cool J, the two LLs, and if I show the symbol there too, you'll see like the J. Damn, where did I put that? All right, I'm gonna have some herbal tea, and continue another stream. I can't pause this, but I'm gonna get my internet working and tie some more of this stuff down. I gotta recharge. Let's say take a nap, take a zap. So we're gonna get more into like centrifugal force. It's just how things emanate in different vibrational patterns. Like in the word loser, you see resolve. In Cyril, you see resolve, like resolve to resolve. Depending how. So this is about surfing these frequencies. This is Renergy. At this point, I'm just kind of flipping through my notes here, throwing some stuff, playing around with this to get this mic down, to get this recording down, and coming at you live. Renergy, I'm out. Happy 2022, 222. um, yeah, it's interesting that the peace sign, peace. It's also you see the Pac-Man too in that. They got everybody doing that. And I'm gonna back at it. That's it for now. I'm out of steam. But I wanted to get back to you with that ABC and the spinning spiral. I'm gonna marinate on that some more. That's a good one. And keep going, man. Keep the sparks flying. Rena G, I'm out.